Hello my dear students, in this lecture we are going to see Brayton cycle and its analysis, right? Now in previous lecture we have seen introduction to the gas turbine, that is Brayton cycle, and there we have seen various processes on Brayton cycle. The various processes are, let us draw PV and TS diagram. If I draw pressure versus volume diagram as well as temperature versus entropy diagram, now various processes are, very first process, that is 1 to 2, is reversible adiabatic compression. It is reversible adiabatic compression. Reversible adiabatic compression is also called isentropic compression, right? It is also called isentropic compression, right? Now second process is that is 2 to 3, is constant pressure heat supply. Constant pressure heat supply, this is the second process. Now third process is, that is 3 to 4, is reversible adiabatic expansion. Reversible adiabatic expansion, that is isentropic expansion. And last process, that is process number 4 to 1, is constant pressure heat rejection. Constant pressure heat rejection. These are the various processes on PV and TS diagram for the Brayton cycle that already we have seen in previous lecture. Let us draw this cycle. Now 1 to 2 is reversible adiabatic compression. Therefore during this process volume decreases, pressure increases, reversible adiabatically 1 to 2, right? Then on TS diagram, 1 to 2 reversible means isentropic, and compression means temperature increases. At constant entropy temperature increases. 1 to 2 will be straight vertical line. Then 2 to 3 is constant pressure heat supply. Therefore at constant pressure volume increases as it is heat supplied. 2 to 3 is constant pressure heat supply. 1 to 2 is reversible adiabatic means P raised to gamma is equal to constant. 1 to 2 is isentropic means entropy is constant. Now 2 to 3 is constant pressure heat supply means volume increases, and as heat is supplied both entropy and temperature increases. Therefore 2 to 3 will be like this. 2 to 3 at constant pressure the entropy and temperature will increase. Now 3 to 4 is reversible adiabatic expansion, right? Therefore 3 to 4 is reversible adiabatic expansion like this, that is PV raised to gamma is equal to constant. Therefore on TS diagram, for expansion processes, for reversible adiabatic expansion processes, temperature decreases at constant entropy. Therefore 3 to 4 will be straight vertical line coming downward. And then last process is 4 to 1, is constant pressure heat rejection. Therefore at constant pressure volume decreases as heat is rejected. Now as heat is rejected both entropy and temperature will decrease at constant pressure. This is PV and TS diagram. Now my dear students, here let us define various process ratios. Now any process ratio in IC engine topic, we have defined that process ratio is always more than 1. The process ratio must be more than 1. Now there are three types of process ratios in case of Brayton cycle. Very first is compression ratio. As like IC engine, it is compression ratio. Similar like IC engine, compression ratio is represented by RK. RK. It is nothing but, compression ratio is nothing but volume at the start of compression divided by volume at the end of compression. Therefore it is V1 divided by V2 is called compression ratio. Now second is expansion ratio. Second is expansion ratio. Again expansion ratio is represented by RE. Similar to IC engine cycles, expansion ratio is also, it is ratio of volume at the end of expansion divided by volume at the start of expansion, that is V4 divided by V3. And see my dear students, this ratio must be more than 1. This ratio must be more than 1. And last ratio in this Brayton cycle is pressure ratio. Pressure ratio. My dear students, pressure ratio is nothing but represented by RP. It is nothing but maximum pressure in the cycle divided by minimum pressure in the cycle. Now maximum pressure is P2 or P3 and minimum pressure is P1 or P4. Here we can say the cycle is operating between maximum pressure and minimum pressure. Maximum pressure in the cycle is P2 or P3 and the minimum pressure in the cycle is P1 or P4. Therefore this pressure ratio is nothing but P2 divided by P1 or equal to P3 divided by P4, because P2 is equal to P3 and P4 is equal to P1, right? This is called pressure ratio. Now my dear students, in terms of this compression ratio or pressure ratio, we have to define the efficiency of this Brayton cycle. So we will go for calculation of efficiency of this Brayton cycle. Now here I am erasing this data. Already write down this quickly and remember compression ratio, expansion ratio and pressure ratio, right? Now various processes, do the analysis for various processes. Here I will keep only any one diagram. Let us keep TS diagram or let us keep PV diagram, no problem. Let us keep both of them. Now very first process, reversible adiabatic compression. Therefore for process 1 to 2, equation is PV raised to gamma is equal to constant. As it is reversible adiabatic compression, reversible adiabatic means heat transfer during 1 to 2. Heat transfer during process 1 to 2 is 0. That means adiabatic process. For adiabatic process, there is no heat transfer and entropy remains constant. Entropy is constant. And the equation of process is P1 V1 raised to gamma is equal to P2 V2 raised to gamma. And the general expression of this process is in on in terms of temperature, pressure and volume, the equation of this process becomes T2 divided by T1 is equal to P2 divided by P1 raised to gamma minus 1 upon gamma is equal to V1 divided by V2 raised to gamma minus 1. This will be the general expression of this reversible adiabatic process. Therefore, from this, can I say T2 divided by T1 is equal to this P2 divided by P1 is pressure ratio, that is maximum pressure divided by minimum pressure, is equal to Rp raised to gamma minus 1 upon gamma is equal to V1 divided by V2 is nothing but compression ratio Rk, just now we have seen. Therefore, Rk raised to gamma minus 1, right? Therefore, my dear students, from here we can say this T2 is equal to T1 into Rp raised to gamma minus 1 upon gamma or equal to T1 Rk raised to gamma minus 1. This will be our first equation, right? This equation is later required to find efficiencies, right? Now my dear students, let us do the analysis. Now here for 1 to 2 process, work will be the, now work 1 to 2 we will find work 1 to 2 for reversible adiabatic flow process. As on Brayton cycle all are flow processes, therefore the flow work is nothing but gamma times non-flow work, that is gamma times P1 V1 minus P2 V2 divided by gamma minus 1. Now here P1 V1 minus P2 V2 divided by gamma minus 1, this is the work of non-flow process, and if it is flow process we have to multiply with gamma for reversible adiabatic processes, right? These terms you have already seen in basic thermodynamics subject. From this subject directly I am using the results. Here I am not doing any calculations, direct result I am using, right? Again we know that PV is equal to MRT. What is ideal gas equation? Ideal gas equation is equal to PV is equal to MRT. Therefore in terms of P1 V1 we can put MRT1, and for P2 V2 we can put MRT2. Therefore the equation becomes work 1 to 2 is equal to gamma, here MRT1 and MRT1 minus MRT2 divided by gamma minus 1. So consider MR common, right? Therefore work 1 to 2 is equal to gamma into MR in bracket T1 minus T2 divided by gamma minus 1. So my dear students, this work 1 to 2 is equal to M into gamma R divided by gamma minus 1 into T1 minus T2. And my dear students, this gamma R divided by gamma minus 1 is Cp, because we already know that here Cp divided by Cv is gamma. Cp divided by Cv, specific heat at constant pressure divided by specific heat at constant volume is gamma, right? Therefore from this we can say Cp is equal to gamma times Cv, and Cp minus Cv is equal to R. Therefore Cp, if I put this Cp is equal to gamma Cv, then we will get gamma Cv minus Cv is equal to R. Therefore simplify for Cv will be equal to R divided by gamma minus 1. This Cv will be common. If I take Cv common, gamma minus 1 remain, and that side it will be in denominator, and Cp is gamma times Cv. Therefore Cp is equal to gamma times Cv, which is nothing but gamma R divided by gamma minus 1. Therefore this is the Cp value, right? Gamma R divided by gamma minus 1. From here onward, remember gamma R divided by gamma minus 1 is Cp, and R divided by gamma minus 1 is, so let us use this result, that is Cp is equal to gamma R divided by gamma minus 1. Therefore gamma R divided by gamma minus 1 will be replaced by Cp. So my dear students, here let us put these values. Here let us put these values for the work 1 to 2. Therefore this we will get work 1 to 2 will be equal to, that is work of compression. Work 1 to 2 is compression process. Work of compression is equal to mCp T1 minus T2. And my dear students, we know that T1 is less than T2 because after compression temperature increases. Therefore mCp T1 minus T2, this answer will be negative. Therefore this answer will be negative, that is work of compression is negative. and we already know that compression work is negative because it is work consumed by the system, right? Whenever system consumes work, it is negative work, or compression is negative work. Whenever system produce work, it is positive work, or expansion work is positive work. This is the sign convention. So for positive answer, we can write work of compression. We already know that it is negative work. Therefore, for positive answer, we can write mCp T2 minus T1. This is for positive answer only, right? And my dear students, mCpDT is nothing but enthalpy change. mCpt is nothing but enthalpy. Therefore, work of compression is equal to, we can say, H2 minus H1, right? This is the compression work. Now note down these calculations for first process. Now let us do the calculation for second process. Here I am erasing the calculations of first process. These calculations are required later. Now let us do the analysis for second process. My dear students, the second process is constant pressure heat supply. It is constant pressure heat supply, means during this process heat is supplied. Therefore answer must be positive, because at constant pressure, at any condition, if heat is supplied, the heat supplied to the system is positive heat. Therefore, as here this P2 is equal to P3, which is nothing but maximum pressure in the cycle, is constant, right? Therefore, we know that at constant pressure, volume is directly proportional to temperature. Therefore, the volume ratio, that is V3 divided by V2, we can replace with T3 divided by T2. V3 divided by V2 is equal to T3 divided by T2. And heat of this process, heat 2 to 3, is nothing but heat supplied to the process, right? Heat of this process 2 to 3 is heat supplied to the system, which is nothing but, we can say, at constant pressure, whenever heat is supplied, it is mCp temperature difference, that is T3 minus T2. mCp T3 minus T2. This is the heat, and mCp is nothing but enthalpy. mCpt is enthalpy. Therefore, it is S3 minus S2. Right. Now, my dear students, here this answer will be positive because it is heat supplied to the system. And for this process, work, that is work 2 to 3, work 2 to 3 will be equal to 0 because it is a constant pressure process. Now, my dear students, for constant pressure non flow process, here for constant pressure flow process, work 1 to 2, work 1 to 2 is nothing but 0, or work of that process, work of that any process is equal to 0, right? And for constant volume non-flow process that you have learned in basic thermodynamics, the work 1 to 2 or work of that process is 0. Whenever process is non-flow, then for constant volume it is work is 0, and whenever process is flow process, then for constant pressure work is 0, because flow work is nothing but integration, it is VdP. Therefore, for constant pressure process, change in pressure is 0, therefore VdP is 0. And non-flow work is nothing but integration, it is PdV. Therefore, for constant volume process, change in volume is 0, that is dV 0. Therefore, for non-flow processes, work is 0 whenever constant volume, right? As it is constant pressure and flow process, work of this process is 0, right? This is the process number 2, that is second process, right? For work is 0. Now let us do the analysis of third process. Let us go for third process. Here I am erasing the calculations of second process. Now here I am writing here heat supply. Heat supply is nothing but mCp T3 minus T2. mCp T3 minus T2, right? Now process number 3, that is 3 to 4, is reversible adiabatic expansion. Reversible adiabatic means heat transfer during this process is 0, entropy is constant, means S3 is equal to S4 is equal to constant, right? And equation is P3 V3 raised to gamma is equal to P4 V4 raised to gamma. And the general expression in terms of temperature, pressure and volume is T3 divided by T4 is equal to P3 divided by P4 raised to gamma minus 1 upon gamma is equal to V4 divided by V3 raised to gamma minus 1. So my dear students, this P3 divided by P4 divided by P4 is maximum pressure divided by minimum pressure, which is nothing but pressure ratio. Therefore, we can write T3 divided by T4 is equal to pressure ratio raised to gamma minus 1 upon gamma is equal to, now here V4 divided by V3 is expansion ratio, Re raised to gamma minus 1. This is the equation number 2. Now my dear students, the first equation we have derived is for process 1 to 2, which is nothing but T2 divided by T1 is equal to Rp raised to gamma minus 1 upon gamma is equal to RK raised to gamma minus 1. This was our first equation. Now from first and second equation, can we say it is both equation are RP raised to gamma minus 1 upon gamma? Therefore from 1 and 2, 1 is equal to 2. Therefore we can say T3 divided by T4 is equal to T2 divided by T1. Therefore we can write T3 divided by T2 is equal to T4 divided by T1. Again, this equation is required later. Therefore, here I am writing T3 divided by T2. This ratio is equal to T4 divided by T1. This ratio, right? And my dear students, again, can I say RE raised to power gamma minus 1 is equal to RK raised to power gamma minus 1 means expansion ratio is equal to from 1 and 2 expansion ratio is equal to compression ratio in case of here Brayton cycle, as well as for Otto cycle expansion ratio was equal to compression ratio, and here also expansion ratio is equal to compression ratio. Now let us find the work of this process. Now let us find the work of this expansion process. Therefore work 3 to 4, here I am finding work 3 to 4, right? Let us find this work of 3 to 4 process. Now here, as it is reversible adiabatic process, therefore for reversible adiabatic process the flow work, that is work 3 to 4, is nothing but gamma times non-flow work, that is gamma times P3V3 minus P4V4 divided by gamma minus 1. Therefore again simplify this, gamma times here P3V3 is nothing but MRT3 and P4V4 is nothing but MRT4. Therefore we can write MRT3 minus T4 divided by gamma minus 1. Therefore work 3 to 4 we can write is equal to M gamma R divided by gamma minus 1 into T3 minus T4. And just now for the first process we have seen that gamma R divided by gamma minus 1 is Cp. Therefore work 3 to 4 is equal to MCp T3 minus T4. And my dear students, the answer will be positive because it is an expansion process and work of expansion is always positive. And in terms of enthalpy difference, this work becomes equal to, now MCP-T3 is S3 and MCP-T4 is H4, S3 minus H4, and answer will be positive here. And my dear students, this work is also called work 3 to 4 is also called work of turbine or work of expansion. We can say it is a work of turbine. 3 to 4 is work of turbine or work of expansion also, that is positive work. Now let us do the analysis of last process, that is process number 4 to 1, which is nothing but constant pressure heat rejection, right? Now last process, that is process 4 to 1, fourth process is constant pressure heat rejection, means P1 is equal to P4 is equal to minimum pressure in the cycle is constant, and it is heat rejection. During this process is heat is rejected. Now at constant pressure, for constant pressure volume is directly proportional to temperature. Therefore we can write the volume ratio V4 divided by V1 is equal to T4 divided by T1, right? And similarly during this process, as heat is rejected, therefore heat 4 to 1 is nothing but what we can write, MCP final temperature T1 minus initial temperature T4, MCP T final minus T initial. And my dear students, can you say that initial temperature T1 is less than final temperature T4 from TS diagram, right? T1 is less than T4, therefore this answer will be negative. This answer will be negative because heat rejected from the system is negative. As it is heat rejected from the system, heat rejected from the system is negative. So let us find positive answer. Therefore for positive answer, heat rejected is equal to MCP maximum temperature T4 minus minimum temperature T1. This is for positive answer only, but we know that heat rejected from the system is negative. So in terms of enthalpy, MCP T4 is H4 and MCP T1 is H1. Therefore H4 minus H1. This is positive answer, my dear students. This is a positive answer. So here again work for this process, work of 4 to 1 is nothing but 0 because it is a constant pressure. It is a constant pressure flow process, and for constant pressure flow process work is 0, right? Therefore work 4 to 1 is equal to 0. Now my dear students, let us apply first law of thermodynamics, right? For this cycle let us apply first law of thermodynamics, right? Now as per first law for a cycle, right, this this law already you have learned in basic thermodynamics topic. First law for cycle, for any cycle, is nothing but cyclic integral of heat is equal to cyclic integral of work, and this cyclic integral of heat is equal to cyclic integral of work is written as heat of process 1 to 2 plus heat of process 2 to 3 plus heat of process 3 to 4 plus heat of process 4 to 1 is equal to work of process 1 to 2 plus work of process 2 to 3 plus work of process 3 to 4 plus work of process 4 to 1. This is called cyclic integral of heat, and this is the cyclic integral of work. So already we have seen that this here heat of process 1 to 2 is 0, heat of process 4 to, sorry, 3 to 4 is 0, 3 to 4 is 0, but there is a heat for 4 to 1 process. For 4 to 1 process there is a heat, right? As well as work of process 2 to 3 is 0 and work of process 4 to 1 is 0. That already we have derived in analysis. So my dear students, and heat of process 2 to 3 is heat supply. Heat supply. Now heat of process 4 to 1 is heat rejected, which is negative. Therefore minus heat rejected is equal to work of process 1 to 2 is work of compression, which is negative, and for 3 to 4 it is work of turbine, which is positive. Therefore it is work of turbine minus work of compressor, right? That means we can say the net heat is equal to net work. Net heat is equal to net work. This is the first law for cycle. This is the first law for cycle. That means cyclic integral of heat is nothing but net heat, cyclic integral of work is nothing but net work. This is called first law for the cycle. And we have seen heat rejected during the cycle is nothing but 4 to 1, that is mCp T4 minus T1. This is the heat rejected during the cycle. So my dear students, here this cyclic integral of heat or cyclic integral of work is nothing but area of PV diagram. Means area enclosed by the PV cycle is nothing but net work, and area enclosed by the TS cycle is cyclic integral of heat, which is nothing but net heat. That means here we can say the area enclosed by the PV cycle is W net, net work output, and area enclosed by the TS cycle is net heat, right? And as per first law, net heat is equal to net work. Therefore area enclosed by the PV as well as TS cycle, this area enclosed by the PV as well as TS cycle is net heat as well as net work. Therefore here we can write net heat which is equal to net work is nothing but heat supply minus heat rejected or equal to work of turbine minus work of compressor. Now after the analysis of all the processes, let us find efficiency of this Brayton cycle or efficiency of this gas turbine cycle, or also called efficiency of this Joule cycle, right? Now for any cycle, efficiency thermal, that is for Brayton cycle also, efficiency thermal is nothing but output divided by input. And my dear students, here output is W net, net work output, and input is heat supplied during 2 to 3 process, right? Therefore it is also written as W net is heat supply minus heat rejected divided by heat supply. Therefore it is equal to 1 minus heat rejected divided by heat supply. This is the efficiency of any cycle in second law of thermodynamics, or in Rankine cycle, or in IC engine cycles. For any cycle, this is the efficiency. So my dear students, here efficiency of this Brayton cycle, that is ideal efficiency, that is reversible efficiency, or it is also called theoretical efficiency of Brayton cycle, is equal to 1 minus heat rejected divided by heat supply. So is equal to 1 minus heat rejected is during 4 to 1, that is mCp T4 minus T1, mCp T4 minus T1 divided by heat supplied is during 2 to 3 process, that is mCp T3 minus T2 divided by mCp T3 minus T2. So my dear students, here mCp will get cancelled, and this efficiency thermal for the Brayton cycle will become equal to 1 minus T4 minus T1 divided by T3 minus T2. This will be the thermal efficiency of this Brayton cycle. This direct result also they will ask you in examination, or they will ask you the simplified version of this formula. They will ask you the simplified version of this formula. Now here this efficiency formula, which is nothing but just we have derived. See, efficiency is nothing but efficient thermal is equal to 1 minus T4 minus T1 divided by T3 minus T2, right? Let us simplify this formula. We will simplify now this formula. Now in numerator, consider T1 common. If I take T1 common in the numerator and T2 common in the denominator, the formula will become efficient thermal is equal to 1 minus, in numerator T1 is common, therefore in bracket T4 divided by T1 minus 1 divided by, in denominator T2 is common, therefore T3 divided by T2 minus 1. This formula you will get. And my dear students, here already we have seen T3 divided by T2 is equal to T4 divided by T1. Therefore, this T3 divided by T2 minus 1 is equal to T4 divided by T1 minus 1. Therefore, this factor will get cancelled. This factor will get cancelled, and efficiency of cycle becomes equal to efficiency theoretical is equal to 1 minus T1 divided by T2. 1 minus T1 divided by T2. And my dear students, T1 divided by T2, this process is reversible adiabatic compression that already we have seen. Whenever I write T2 divided by T1, it is nothing but P2 divided by P1 raised to gamma minus 1 upon gamma. That equation number 1 is equal to V1 divided by V2 raised to gamma minus 1, and which is nothing but T2 divided by T1 is equal to this P2 divided by P1 is pressure ratio raised to gamma minus 1 upon gamma is equal to V1 by V2 is compression ratio raised to gamma minus 1. Therefore, reverse T1 divided by T2 will be equal to 1 upon pressure ratio raised to gamma minus 1 upon gamma is equal to 1 upon compression ratio raised to gamma minus 1. So use this result in the formula of efficiency. So in the efficiency formula, replace T1 by T2 with this 1 upon Rp raised to gamma minus 1 upon gamma or 1 upon Rk raised to gamma minus 1. Therefore, the efficiency of cycle becomes equal to, here this efficiency thermal will become equal to 1 minus T1 divided by T2, which is nothing but equal to 1 minus 1 upon Rp raised to gamma minus 1 upon gamma is equal to 1 minus 1 upon Rk raised to gamma minus 1. Right, this will be the efficiency formula. Remember this efficiency formula. Now my dear students, in IC engine topic we have seen the efficiency of Otto cycle. Now for IC engine, here instead of 2 to 3, that is constant pressure heat supply, there is constant volume heat supply. And for Otto cycle, the heat rejection is at constant volume. Means for Otto cycle, heat supply is at constant volume and heat rejection is also at constant volume. Therefore, if I draw pressure versus volume diagram, 1 to 2 is reversible adiabatic compression, 2 to 3 is constant volume heat supply, 3 to 4 is reversible adiabatic expansion, and 4 to 1 is constant volume heat rejection for Otto cycle, right? And for Brayton cycle, this constant volume heat supply and constant volume heat rejection processes are replaced with constant pressure processes. But there also we have derived the formula for efficiency, and efficiency of this Otto cycle is also equal to 1 minus 1 upon Rk raised to gamma minus 1. Therefore, in terms of compression ratio Rk, the efficiency of Otto cycle and efficiency of Brayton cycle is same. Therefore, we can say efficiency of Otto cycle is equal to efficiency of Brayton cycle in terms of compression ratio. If compression ratio is same, if Rk is same, then efficiency of Brayton cycle becomes equal to efficiency of Otto cycle. Now, my dear students, generally engines are specified with the help of compression ratio, that is V1 divided by V2. But my dear students, the turbines are specified with the help of pressure ratio, because in turbine the maximum pressure divided by minimum pressure is called pressure ratio, and this pressure ratio is a parameter to define the turbine. So in terms of pressure ratio, what is the efficiency of Brayton cycle? So let us write down here the efficiency of Brayton cycle in terms of pressure ratio that already we have derived. This efficiency of Brayton is equal to 1 minus 1 upon Rp pressure ratio raised to gamma minus 1 upon gamma, right? Now therefore we can say the efficiency thermal of the Brayton cycle is a function of pressure ratio and gamma, right? Now let us check the effect of operating variables, that is effect of pressure ratio and gamma on the efficiency. Now here in this numerical, this efficiency, if Rp pressure ratio increases, then this denominator is increasing, therefore 1 upon this term is decreasing, therefore 1 minus this term is increasing. Therefore, as pressure ratio increases, efficiency thermal of Brayton cycle also increases, and as well as the effect of gamma on efficiency. Now check here, as gamma increases, can you say here this term will decrease? As gamma increases, 1 upon Rp means denominator will increase. What is the efficiency in terms of compression ratio? Efficiency of Brayton cycle is equal to 1 minus 1 upon Rk raised to gamma minus 1. Now 1 to the power anything 1, but here denominator power is increasing, as gamma is increasing, denominator power is increasing, therefore this factor is decreasing, and 1 minus this factor is increasing, therefore efficiency goes on increasing, efficiency thermal goes on increasing. Therefore, to increase efficiency of Brayton cycle, we have two options: increase the pressure ratio or increase the specific heat ratio gamma. Right, let us observe the effect of operating variables here. If I draw graph, that is efficiency thermal versus pressure ratio RP. Now if pressure ratio is equal to 1, if this pressure ratio is equal to 1, 1 divided by 1 is 1, 1 to the power anything is 1, 1 minus 1 is 0. Therefore whenever pressure ratio is equal to 1, efficiency is 0, right? And as the pressure ratio goes on increasing, efficiency goes on increasing, therefore the graph will be like this, right? And at RP max, let us say at maximum pressure ratio, efficiency of cycle becomes equal to maximum efficiency, right? And what will be the effect of gamma on the efficiency? Now let us check here. We have drawn the graph for pressure ratio. Let us draw the graph considering pressure ratio as well as gamma, right? On y-axis we will consider efficiency, on y-axis efficiency thermal of the Brayton cycle, on x-axis pressure ratio. And whenever pressure ratio is equal to 1, efficiency is equal to 0, and as pressure ratio goes on increasing, efficiency also goes on increasing, right? Therefore let us say for triatomic gases, we know that for triatomic gases gamma is 1.33, right? Here we have three types of gases, right? One is triatomic. For triatomic gases this gamma is equal to 1.33. For diatomic gases, this gamma is equal to 1.4. And for monoatomic gases this gamma is equal to 1.67. These are the different values that already you have learned in basic thermodynamics subject. Therefore if gamma increases, efficiency increases. Therefore efficiency will be maximum for monatomic gases such as helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon. And diatomic gases are air, oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen. These are the diatomic gases. Triatomic gases are sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide, right? Therefore efficiency will be maximum for monatomic gases as compared to diatomic and as compared to triatomic. Therefore as the pressure ratio increases, efficiency goes on increasing. Let us say this is triatomic gases, so gamma is equal to 1.33, and efficiency will be more for diatomic gases, therefore gamma is equal to 1.4, and for monatomic gases it is more, gamma is equal to 1.67. This will be the graph combinedly increases, pressure ratio increases, efficiency increases, and also as gamma increases, efficiency also increases. Thank you dear students. In next lecture we will see what is the maximum value of this pressure ratio and what is the maximum work output from this cycle.